Hi my loves, welcome to the channel Style by C. Today's tutorial will be on how to cut and sew a beautiful palazzo pants or trouser. Do subscribe to the channel, share to friends. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. See you in our subsequent tutorials. So the first thing first, I marked is the full length of my trouser. I'm working with 40 inches long plus 1 inch stitching allowance. Now the next thing I'm going to mark is my lap line. Okay. So from my waist, I'm going to come down to 11.5 inches, which is going to also my lap line stroke, my crotch depth. Alright. So now divide your hip measurements into 4, whatever you have, impute it here, add extra 1 inch to it. So mine is 10.5 inches. I'll mark it on my hip, on my lap line. I'll also go ahead and mark it on my waist line. And this is what we have. The next step now is from the waistline. I'm going to come down to 8 inches, which is my hip. Here is my hip line. Okay, so now insert your waist measurement. Divide your waist measurements by 4. I have 7.25, which is here, plus 1 inch stitching allowance. So from here I'm going to connect it to this point, and this is what I have. Okay, so from here I'm going to be making a curl towards the bottom of my trouser, my palazzo pants, this way. The next thing we're going to do now is your lap measurement. Divide it by 2. I have 12 inches when I divide it by 2 plus 1 inch, making it 13 inches, and this is it here. So I'm going to come to this crotch line now. I'm going to mark 1 inch outward, then 1 inch here upward to form a cube. Then I'm going to make a curve. This is to enable me create a perfect curve at this crotch line area. And this is what we have. Now go to the bottom of your trouser, or the base of your material. Mark your 13 inches, which is what you have at the crotch line here. Okay, so I have it here. I'm going to find the midpoint. The midpoint is 6.5 inches, which is here. So from this point on, I'm going to determine how wide I want my palazzo pants to be at the bottom. You can decide to use 5 inches. You can decide to use more, depending on how wide you want yours to be. So I'm working with 5 inches for the wideness of my pants. So from here, I'm going to be making a connection down to the bottom of my trouser. So from here now, I'm going to connect down to the bottom where I have my 5 inches. And this is what we have. Same thing here. I'm also going to connect down to this point. And this is what we have. So now this is for our front piece. We're going to come down to 1 inch from this waistline. We're going to come down by 1 inch. Okay, then we're going to connect it to our side waist this way. Please, this is only applicable for the front piece. The back piece, we are not doing that. So we're going to go ahead now to cut this piece out. So guys, the next thing we're working on now is the back piece. I went ahead to fold my fabric, place my front, this is my front piece on top of my back piece. Okay, so now from the center point, which is here, I'm going to mark 2 inches all the way down to the end of my fabric. I'll connect them together. And this is what we have. Now I'm going to also do the same thing for this area, which is this crotch depth, crotch line area. I'm also going to mark 2 inches all the way to my waistline. And this is what we have. Now I'm remember we made a curve at the front piece. You're also going to go ahead to do that for this back piece. And this is what we have. Now go ahead and cut it out. So this is what we have. Now we're going to be trimming off the 1 inch we have in front, remember? So I'm going to go ahead and trim it off. Please, I'm not trimming it off with the back, just the front piece. And this is what we have. Then I'll also trim the side. And this is what we have. Okay, now the next thing we're going to go ahead is the stitching. So I'm going to place it right side facing each other. That's what we'll go ahead to do now. So now I'll go ahead to close up the side. Let me place it with. So this is the front, each pair, or each leg. This is one leg, this is another leg. So right side facing each other, the back and the front, and this is what we have. Now I'm going to run a stitch on the side. Also do the same thing to the center piece from this crotch line now down to the base of the trouser. Next thing we have here is our band. I'm going to have to cut out a straight strap, which is going to serve as my band. The boldness is 2.5 inches on a fold. You can use more, you can use less, depending on your choice. So I'll go ahead now to fix this on my trouser. So guys, for my pants, which I skipped this process, I didn't talk about it. I joined the two pairs of two legs together. Okay, starting from the front piece, I went ahead to join towards the back piece. Okay, I joined the two legs together. All right, please make sure that the two crotch lines are matching. Okay, so when you're done, you turn this out and fix your band. At this point now, I'm done joining my band. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to be marking my waist measurements, then indicating where my zip is going to be. Okay, so I have 14.5 inches as my waist measurement when I divide it by 2. So I'm going to be using 13.5 inches. Why I removed that 1 inch is because of the 1 inch we removed in the front while drafting, when we were marking it on our fabric. That was why I removed the 1 inch here. Okay, so from this point now, I'm going to be connecting it inwards to this point where my zip stops, where my zip will stop.